so strange being back here. Same home, same chair, same mug, and even my room is exactly the way it was before I left for my trip. But you know what? I'm no longer the same person.
Re-entry is like a form of culture shock or culture stress. You've changed, but home hasn't. This can lead to you be feeling frustrated or even misunderstood. Like, people here just don't get it.
You'll face moments of disconnect when your humor feels off, or when everybody just seems so busy, or nobody asks you about your trip the way you had hoped.
This is a culture stress in reverse sort of form, and it is so normal. The challenge is, how will you respond?
Re-entry has been another cultural shock in itself. And that is very crazy because I'm coming back to the place that I've lived for my whole life, but coming back very different. I think I very much can be very introspective and also very just like pondering and reminiscent. And it was impossible to come back and just jump into daily life like nothing had happened.
Coming back from, one to the other is really jarring in a lot of ways. It feels like most of the people that you come back to have no understanding of what you had just experienced. So it's really, really hard to kind of reconcile the two. Like, okay, like this amazing experience that people can't understand, and I still have to kind of come back and live this life here. Like, how do I retain everything that I learned and I gained overseas, but also fit my life back into my daily routine? It's really hard.
I expected that I would be able to reconnect very well with people back here. For some reason, I just thought, I'll just be jumping back into all these friends and family that I know very well for my whole life, or for the better part of my life. I have spoken with them and had a really strong community and bond with them. So I didn't expect that it would be any different when I came back, but it was. I think the thing about communities and groups are that when someone leaves, it's very natural for them to fill up the gap, as any healthy groups do. The role or whatever need there was that person used to play in that group, they were able to make up for it. It's a little bit like sand, right? When you dig it and then it just sort of falls back into place after a while. But when I came back, I think the expectation was two-pronged, in the sense that I expected that I would be able to fall back into place, but my group also expected the same, that I should fall back into place, but there was no place. The gap was already filled up, and there was no more role left for me to play. I had to look for a new one. It wasn't that a new one, making a new role isn't possible. It was that it took time. And I think we all felt a little awkward navigating around that. And that sort of threw me off quite a bit, because I was encountering that in all of my groups and communities, like friend groups and church and other things, and even my family. They were kind of used to not having me around, and I was used to not having them around all the time. So in all of that, just facing block after block, I too want to go back into how it was, but it's not working out that way. So I guess we both felt a little, I hope they felt a little bit of that disconnect that I felt, perhaps less than I did.
You expect people to behave a certain way or be happy that and then their life just goes on, and you have something change that you experienced, and you want to share that, but people just, people come across it, they don't, oh yeah, you went there, it's great, wonderful, but I gotta, I got something to do.
I just feel like, I don't know, in the States, from California actually, a lot of people are just in a hurry, so they gotta be somewhere. And so I'm okay, I respect your time, totally okay. Let's make space if you feel like talking about it, I'm always here. Yeah, I just definitely feel the rush, and coming back from, I kind of see the difference between I don't know, Guatemala and States, where Guatemala, people spend a lot of time together, you know, to have that family time, quality time. Well, like in the States, we do have that, but it's more like, oh, like family time, work, and then I gotta do this, gym, you know, so it's definitely like scheduled and like locked.
I think maybe people have an expectation of where I'm at. Like, I think other people, because they don't know that like this impacted me so deeply, or I'm still processing like everything that I experienced there, and that, you know, like you do experience reverse culture shock. I think most people don't know that. So I think a lot of people do expect me like to jump back into my daily routine, or to like be completely normal, or just like the same way I was, and just like really quickly fall back into the things that I was doing. But I think like, it's hard for me to express too, that sometimes maybe I need a little bit of space, because I don't know if they'll understand that all of this is happening within me, you know? So I think it makes it a little bit hard to relate to others in that way when I get back, because they have these assumptions of where I'm at, where really, I think my heart and my mind are like in a really different place.
The more dangerous ones, if you really love your place that you've been abroad in, is you can have a lot of judgment coming home. For me, it was, well, we had this little box of a space and we hosted Bible studies. We had people over all the time. And then I go to my friend's house who has a house 10 times the size, and they're like, we just don't have room to host. And so for me, I just like wanted to throw the pillows in the air, like, what are you talking about? You could house a village. And so having that idea of, well, this is their culture, and for their culture, what is appropriate to host in looks like this, versus where I just was, where having a roof meant you could host. And making sure you process things with someone who's spiritually aware, spiritually solid, and able to just say, you know, maybe they just haven't had that same experience, or maybe that's not where God has them at this time. But what are you gonna do now that you've had this experience? Maybe you can host and give people that experience rather than putting it on someone else. And also, like what Maggie said, with feeling that closeness while you're in a time of desperation, I think it's important to say, well, rather than focusing on, it's so sad I don't have that anymore, remember, wow, that was so amazing to feel so close to God. I want to continue having that back where I am. And I know it's not going to look the same, because I'm going to feel more comfortable in my own house than I did somewhere else. So how do I still have that hunger for God? Like, I've tasted and I've seen that He is good. I don't want to look away from that.
Do you remember the entry posture diagram? This isn't just for experiencing a new culture, this is for coming home too.
There are usually 3 re-entry responses: assimilators, alienators, and integrators.
Assimilators act like nothing ever happened. They slide back in, but they forget the experience they had.
An alienator rejects home altogether, criticizing everything, forgetting that they were once part of this culture too.
But an integrator, they know re-entry will be difficult. They recognize what's changed and they bring it home with grace.
That's true. Integration takes time. For me, coming back home to the Philippines was actually harder than entering a new culture.
Many people take a lot of time to prepare for entering a new culture, but spend little to no preparation on coming back home.
So, take time to re-enter and be kind with yourself in this adjustment.
And remember, God has brought you back for a reason.